Unity. It's so nice to see you today. Please stand as you are able. We're going to sing an opening song together. It's real easy. This goes, this joy. It goes like this. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Yeah, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Let's do it. This joy. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Let's try this truth. Ready? This truth that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this truth that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, no, this truth that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Let's pray on that.
And so we take a moment to turn our attention within as we know the truth of our opening statement together. There is but one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotence.
Let's do this piece. You're doing an affirmation of the thing that you have inside of you is not dependent upon the outside world. It didn't come from the outside world. It came from within. So it can't be taken away from the outside world. I know all of you could have figured that out with the lyric, but let's take it and personalize it on the word peace. And it's allowed to be aspirational. You're allowed to feel like the world can take my peace away. But let's imagine if it weren't something that was takeawayable. This peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Yeah, this joy that I have, oh, the world didn't give it, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, no, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Yeah, the world didn't give it, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Yeah, last time. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Nice work. Thank you.
Good morning, and welcome to Seattle Unity, and welcome those who are watching at home as well. So let's turn to our vision statement together. We are an accessible and inclusive spiritual sanctuary for all ages and stages of life. We offer spiritual practices and a community that honors diversity and encourages self-empowerment. We co-create a world that works for all. Can I get an amen? Amen. All right. So a couple of announcements this morning. So if you're watching from home, please type in your prayer requests as well as where you're watching from. And those of us in the room, the prayer box is around the corner, so we can fill those out, those prayers, and the prayer team will bless you through the week. Michael Bogar, who spoke last Sunday, is teaching a class this Wednesday on spiritual symbols. So if you are planning to attend, you need to sign up today. And if you need help signing up, you can go down to the lobby, and Karen R. would be happy to assist you. Also, Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, there's a candidate forum happening here at Seattle Unity, and that is those that are running for office are going to be sharing their viewpoints and ideas. So apparently, I don't know, Como or Cairo or somebody's going to be here. And so it's a pretty big event, and so we invite you to come and check that out. So volunteers are needed following the service to count Christmas supplies. And you say, what are Christmas supplies? Well, they're candles and things like that. Like, do we have enough for the Christmas Eve service? So if you're willing to hang around and go down, I believe it's going to be in the conference room. We'd love to have your help for that. And also the women's group is meeting today. And then one final announcement. Brendan, would you please stand? He's going to be leading a Qigong class, a class series. So if you have any questions about that, you can talk with him following the service, and he'd be happy to share that information with you. All right, so that said, let's all stand and greet one another.
Standing as you are able. We do a more high energy sing along in this little spot here. This is I Release, and many of you know this song really well. It has this intro in the beginning that I give to one of our congregant singers. And it's a scary thing to do. If it's your first time singing this intro, it's scary. So I gave it to my friend Monique. She's a doctor. She'll be fine with it. Come on. There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself, and I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient, and I didn't know the love of God was at hand. Woo! But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go. Let it all go. Woo. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free.
coming into a more contemplative part of the service. In the center of every Unity Sunday service, we make time for a meditation. And today we have back with us the amazing Andrea Carino, who is going to give us a sound meditation on these beautiful bowls. But our first step into this more contemplative part of the service comes from a reading given to us by Rose Miller. Thank you, Rose.
This is Friendship by Roy Croft. I love you not only for what you are, but for how I am when I'm with you. I love you not only for what you've made of yourself, but for what you bring out in me. I love you for overlooking all my foibles and weaknesses and passing over all the foolish and weak things that you can't help seeing here, and for drawing out into the light the radiant and beautiful things in me that others may not see. You've done more for me than any creed could have done to bring out my best. And you've contributed greatly to my happiness. You've done it without a touch, without a word, without a sign. You've done it by being yourself.
We'll use a simple Om Shanti chant, and we'll do this maybe 9-10 times. What that accomplishes is just sort of entrainment, breath. We breathe together as a room. So you don't have to be a good singer to do these chants. Harmonies, go ahead. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti need you. You need me. We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me. Agree with me. We're all a part of God's body. It is God's will that every need be supplied. You are important to me. I need you to survive. You are important to me. I need you to survive. If you know it, sing it with us. I need you. I need you. You need me. And we're all a part of God's body. Stand with me. Agree with me. We're all a part of God's body. It is God's will that every need be supplied. You are important to me. I need you to survive. You are important to me. I need you to survive. And this part is easy to learn, and it goes. I pray for you. You pray for me. I love you. I need you to survive. I won't harm you with words from my mouth. I love you. I need you to survive. That's right. I pray for you. You pray for me. 'Cause I love you. I need you to survive. I won't harm you with words from my mouth. I love you. I need you to survive. Try it. I pray for you. You pray for me. I love you. I need you to survive. And I won't harm you with words from my mouth. I love you. I need you to survive. I pray for you, and you pray for me. I love you. I need you to survive. And I won't harm you with words from my mouth. I love you. I need you to survive. I pray for you. You pray for me. I love you. I need you to survive. I won't harm you with words from my mouth. I love you. I need you to survive. I love you. I love you. I need you to survive. I love you. I need you to survive. I love you. I need you to survive.
Let's hear it for our home team. So last month in our cycle of life, we were exploring the words I serve. So we looked at our work life and the many different ways we serve in our lives and our loved ones. And so from I serve, we now move to I share. And this is where we look at one-on-one relationships, with our deep friendships, with romantic relationships, with our coworkers, with our relationship with God and with ourselves. But here is where we are called to share, because it's through relationships that you learn to share your time, your resources, your body, hopes, and dreams. It's where in relationships we learn to give and receive, to forgive and to be forgiven. It's where we learn to set boundaries and yet to care for another person. And it's where we learn to be vulnerable and let ourselves be seen. So this is big stuff. As we're approaching this topic I share, I'm like, this is a hard one. This one is complicated and multifaceted. So stay with me. So yesterday was the autumn equinox, and this is where the days and the nights are equal in length. And I think that this can symbolize how we seek to maintain balance and equality in a relationship. And yet anyone who's been in a relationship knows that things are rarely equal or in balance, right? Sometimes it's like this, sometimes it's like this, and sometimes it's like that. And if we go into a relationship expecting everything to be totally equal, we're probably going to be disappointed. Because relationships are a process of adapting, adjusting, and compromising, and relationships are our biggest teacher. And when we're in a good relationship, whether it be in a committed relationship or having good friends, it can help us become stronger and reach out in life. But when we're in a bad relationship, it can destroy our lives, can it? So relationships teach us to grow and change in ways we never would have tried by ourselves. And in relationships and deep friendships, we learn how to communicate, resolve conflict, love, and be loved. And when we enter into these relationships with an open heart, it makes us vulnerable because we can be hurt or betrayed. Brené Brown said, "Vulnerability is uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. It's that unstable feeling we get when we step out of our comfort zone or do something that forces us to loosen control. In fact, vulnerability is the core, the heart, the center of meaningful human experiences. And it's the first thing I look for in you, and it's the last thing I'm willing to show you. In you, it's courage and daring, but in me, it's weakness." So I think she called it what it is, right? That is what it means to be in a relationship, is that we're willing to be vulnerable. And in being vulnerable, it means we might be weak, and it means that we might be setting ourselves up for betrayal. Anybody ever been betrayed? It's kind of like a universal thing, right? So how can relationships be a spiritual practice? So in Unity, our second principle is to behold the Christ in one another, or to behold the Spirit of God, to behold the good in one another. And so when we see the good, we see the soul in one another. And here's the thing, when we first fall in love, it's very easy to see the Christ, isn't it? It's like you see the good, you see the potential, you see the perfection. It's like, wow, this is perfect. And I don't know how many of you saw the movie 500 Days of Summer, but it's about a guy, he works at a greeting company, and he meets a coworker, and he falls in love with her, but she's not that crazy about him. But what I love about the movie is the main character, he so personifies being in love in the beginnings, and he's living in New York, and of course it's a fantasy movie, right? But he's walking down Central Park, and all of a sudden he starts singing and dancing, and all the crowds in Central Park sing and dance along with him, because that's how it feels. And then it finds out that, well, she's not really all that into him. And then his face goes from this glowing, amazing being to this depressed. He doesn't shave, he doesn't shower, he doesn't comb his hair. And he becomes so depressed that in this greeting card company, they transfer him from greeting cards and birthdays and celebrations to bereavement cards. In any relationship, there are bound to be disappointments. Perhaps our partner doesn't live up to what we expect. But the truth is, does anyone live up to perfection? Do you and I, do you live up to perfection? None of us live up to that. And so the reality of day-to-day living is where the spiritual practice comes in. In the case of relationships, it's the year after year after year. This is where the spiritual practice comes in, because this is where we are called to see the good and to see the Christ. So I want to share with you a little bit of the myth of Psyche and Eros, because, again, it describes the process of falling in love. Now, last week, Michael Bogar was here, and he reminded us that Psyche, Greek word, is soul, but also means butterfly. And he showed us a diagram and taking us through the process of a caterpillar going into the cocoon and becoming a chrysalis to become a butterfly. And that's not only the life cycle of a butterfly and a caterpillar, but it's the life cycle of our spiritual awakening. And he says we have to go through this process of breaking down and becoming a chrysalis so that we can grow into, our souls can grow into itself. It can grow into the soul. And so we need to go through a process of deconstruction in order to emerge as a butterfly in our lives, in things that happen, but also in relationships. So the story of Psyche and Eros goes like this. So Psyche was the most beautiful young woman in the land. In fact, she was so beautiful that she was more beautiful than the goddess Aphrodite. And Aphrodite did not like this at all. She was extremely jealous. And so she had her parents, Psyche's parents, go to an oracle to find out who she would marry. And so she sort of fixed it. And the oracle predicted that Psyche was going to marry a monster. So, meanwhile, her son, Eros, he's the guy with the arrows. Sometimes he's seen as Cupid. So he's supposed to go down and strike her so that she falls in love with the monster when he comes. But he accidentally pricks himself with his arrow, and he falls deeply in love with Psyche. And he whisks her off to his castle in the air where he lives in this opulent lifestyle. But here's the deal. He only comes to her at night, so she never sees him in the day. And this is a universal experience, because when a new relationship begins, it's as if we are blinded, right? We fall into this state of bliss, and we may cocoon ourselves off from others. But then Psyche starts to get lonely, and she says to Eros, "Please let my sisters come and visit me." So her sisters come to visit during the day, and they start asking questions like, "So where is your husband anyway? What does he look like?" So this is the time in a relationship where you begin to introduce, if you're in a new relationship, your partner or your love to your friends and your family, and they start asking questions. I remember one of the first times I brought a boyfriend home to meet my parents. My mother took me in the kitchen and she said, "Karen, he's very cute, but do not marry him." So the sisters convince her that night she needs to sleep with an oil lamp. And when he comes to her, she needs to light it so that she can see him. And so when he comes that night, she turns the oil lamp on and she looks at him. And of course, he's gorgeous. But while she's doing this, she drops the oil on him and burns him and wakes him up. And he's so upset by what she has done that he flies away and he's gone. And now I won't follow up with the rest of the story. You can read it. But she has to go through all of these trials and errors in order to win him back, which she eventually does. But this myth describes what this experience is like, and that, you know, it's easy to see the Christ, it's easy to see the good until that light goes on, until your friends start coming around and your family members, and they start asking questions. So those of you who have been in long-term committed relationship know that there's ups and downs to relationships, that there's tides. Sometimes you're really connected and sometimes you're not. That there's good times, there's difficult times. And in any relationship, there's obviously problems that are going to pop up with family members, with finances, with health. And so the thing is to remember that idea of the caterpillar and the cocoon and the chrysalis and the butterfly. Because when these challenges start to come, when these things seem to be difficult, this is the chrysalis. This is the place the caterpillar is before becoming a butterfly. And so this is where the practice of the second principle comes into play, but in a different way. So beholding the Christ, the good in one another, we learn to trust one another and we learn to keep our word. We treat each other with respect, with kindness and loving compassion, and we step in and care for the other person when needed. We also know that in relationships that the other person cannot meet all of our needs, because this is our job, right? We have to pursue our own dreams and we have to take care of our own needs, because only you know what you need. And like, especially if you're in a relationship, you can hit around about what you want, but the truth is just go do it or get it for yourself, because you know what it is you need. In an ideal world, a committed relationship can help us reach out to the wider world in a way that we may never have tried alone. Because when two people share a dream, they can harness their resources to make that dream a reality. And this is the ideal. So when Jesus said, "Whenever two or more are gathered in my name, there am I in the midst." So there's something else that comes out of a relationship that is even higher. So we have all kinds of relationships in our lives. We have friendships, co-workers, committed relationship, and in each relationship we are to be made aware of the other, and that is to share. So I invite you to remember and honor the relationship with yourself, and to remember to nurture yourself and to care for yourself, and to remember and honor your relationship with God. For these are the most important relationships of all. Next Sunday is Animal Blessing. So you are invited to bring your pet to church or a picture of your pet, because we are going to explore our relationship with our furry friends, our bird friends. And God knows I love that. So I'd like to close with a short meditation and a short prayer that brings us to this centeredness and this place of relationship. So I invite you to turn your attention within, to open your mind and to open your heart. And dear God, I place all my relationships into your hands. May my connections with others be filled with loving kindness and compassion. May I see the good in all beings. And I invite you right now to call forth in your heart your best friend. Who is your best friend? And I invite you to hold that person in your heart, whoever that may be. And let us share the prayer of loving kindness, and I invite you to speak it to them. May you be free from danger. Let's say that together. May you be free from danger. May you have mental happiness. Say it again. May you have mental happiness, physical happiness. May you have physical happiness, ease of well-being, and may you have ease of well-being. And I invite you to hold that friend in your heart again and see that Spirit of God going before them and blessing them. I invite you to take a deep breath. And we bless all those whose partners have made their transitions. May you carry your loved one in your heart always, so that they live on and through you, and that time is inconsequential. And I invite you to hold your partner who made their transition in your heart right now, knowing that you can never be separated, that they are always with you. And we take a deep breath. And for those who are seeking a relationship, we know that the Spirit of love goes before you right now and makes your way clear, drawing to you the right and perfect person for you. For those who have been wounded and betrayed, may your heart be healed. May that Spirit of God heal your heart so that you are free to love again. And for those in a relationship, we know again that whenever two or more are gathered in my name, there am I in the midst. May we be grateful for this blessing that is in our lives. And may our relationships serve a higher purpose. And it is for this awareness and in the name and through the power of the living Spirit of truth that we do say, thank you and amen. And it is so. Okay, so who's been in a long-term relationship here? Raise your hand. I know. All right, look around. Look around. Nice. Congratulations. And how many of you are single? All right, look around. It was very sneaky. So we come to that time in our service where we share our tithes and our love offerings. So our ushers are going to come forward. And there's all kinds of ways you can give, through cash, through check, through text to give, through the website. However you give, know that we are grateful for your generosity. And so we affirm and bless our offering with this statement. I give willingly, joyfully, and lovingly, knowing that God is the constant source of my supply. I give with graciousness and receive with gratitude.
Woke up this morning, I suddenly realized we're all in this together. I started smiling, 'cause you were smiling, and we're all in this together. I'm made of atoms, you're made of atoms, and we're all in this together. And long division just doesn't matter, and we're all in this together. I saw you walking in the city. We're all in this together. The city's changing, 'cause we are changing, and we're all in this together. Every 12 seconds, someone remembers that we're all in this together. In the kitchen of your rent-controlled apartment, we are all in this together. Come on, baby, I don't want to rush you. I only wanted to reach out and touch you. I've got to start to open my heart. I know you think about jumping ship before it sinks, but we're all in this together. Ask a scientist, it's quantum physics, and we're all in this together. And on the subway, we feel like strangers, and we're all in this together. Yeah, I love you, and you love her, and she loves him, but we're all in this together. You know, baby, there's never been protection in all the history of human connection. Come on, darling, it's all right to show me you don't ever need to be lonely once you start to open your heart. I saw you crying, I started crying, 'cause we're all in this together. And then religion, it's a big decision, but we're all in this together. 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 We are all in this together. We're all in this together. We're all in this together. We're all in this together. We are all in this together.
So if our chaplains would like to come stand with me, if we have any chaplains on duty today. So let's just take a moment to bless and to thank our offering. So we dedicate and consecrate these gifts to the will, the work, and the way of the living Spirit of truth, and we pray that each gift may return to the giver 1,000-fold. And it is so. Amen. And please know that our chaplains are here to pray with you following the service. And we want to say hello to viewers from Federal Way, Greenwood, Bainbridge Island, Broadview, Linwood, Seward Park, West Lynn, Oregon, Northgate, North Ballard, and Everett. A lot of locals. Yay. And so let us just take a moment as we bless those who have requested prayer. We want to begin with Judy and Ronnie. And we focus on that light within, and we send it to Alex, to Diane B. and Mike, to Amik and Cass. We hold the highest and best outworking in the life of Sabrina, Ann and Michael, Don and Scott, Pat, Steve, Ellen, Sylvia, Amina, Bruce D. and family, and Johnny, and anyone else, any place else that comes to your mind. And so we join in our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Yes, it is the truth.
Who said that?
Yes. Fabulous. Yay! Alexander, there you are. I want to invite you to stand. We're going to sing another closing song. And a special shout out. I had 2 congregant singers who were ill very early this morning and couldn't come. And Jennifer Bowles jumped in. Thank you, Jennifer Bowles. I'll take the moment. Oh, it's in 2 weeks. Yes. Karen just heard herself. It's not next week that is Peck Blessing. It's in 2 weeks. But you knew that. It's okay. But I wanted to ask you, if anybody wants to come and sing here, email me. You don't have to have skills or talent. You laugh, but it's true. Because this is church. And all you need is a desire to come up here and be of service. And we will so love on you. You will have a good time, right? Will they have a good time? Awesome. So I invite you to do that. Meanwhile, let's sing together. We will be the light. It goes like this. We will be the light and the hope and the hope and the strength the world needs now.